facing the challenge about our acceptance. So कहीं ना कहीं हमें कुछ ऐसा लगता है कि हमारे पेपर में कुछ errors है, तो how we will remove it? So these are the very important topic for all the researchers. So just start this particular topic and note down all the points. So accordingly you have to create or make your research paper. So definitely you will get acceptance. So
Dear all, good evening. Hope everybody is safe and good. So, thanks for joining this session. Shall we wait 2-3 minutes so that people can join, so more people can join, and then we start our session. Thanks for the support for our previous webinar, which was research publication process for the novice researcher. We got some huge responses from everyone. Thanks for everyone for participating that event and providing your valuable feedback for us, so that we can come to know that what we are, in which level we are standing. It is your feedback all very good, and thanks for that. Okay, shall we start the session now? Because we are already late for 5 minutes. Okay, so
hello ma'am, you can start.
yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So I'll start the webinar for an art of writing a research paper on the grant proposal. So before that, I just introduce myself. I'm Edel Vidya from India, the founder and executive head for the Claspin Tech. So part of Claspin Tech, we usually conduct training programs for faculties and research scholars related to the research article writing and some providing some research guidance to them. That's what our job. And we also do we started doing webinars in this COVID period, and this is how we had some other webinars related to the technical papers, and now last month and this month we are planning to do some other webinars also, and this is one of that. This is a second seminar related to the second webinar related to the technical writing or research paper writing. It is planned for 2 days. First day means today it is like writing in a research article, and for tomorrow the same time it is planned for writing in a grant proposal. See, these two topics, if you see, they are very huge, and we usually go with some 15 to 20 hours of course for doing this research, doing this training. Along with the hands-on training we usually provide, but it is very difficult to accommodate everything in a 1 hour or 2 hours is very difficult. Obviously you guys knows how the process goes and what are all the difficulties you will be facing when you are writing on a research paper. So whatever I am giving, it is in a short and sweet information. So your responsibility to practice it, because the practice is the one which makes the man perfect. So you start practicing it. In our earlier session also we had given so many tips and tricks when you are reading on a paper and how to formulate a writing. It is a base work for writing. What are all the base work we need to do? Everything we have discussed in our previous webinars. So you know that when you are taking or writing on a paper, you need to read as a critical reader. You have to read it, and you need to take some from the existing paper. You have to reuse some concepts, some not concepts. I mean to say, I mean the templates, words, some grammar. The vocabularies, grammars, and everything. You can start looking all those things and you can use it in your writing. This is what that is a summarization of our previous webinar. And this webinar I'm going to talk about only the the art. I'm not going to touch everything. I'm taking some very small portion. I'm going to discuss on it. What is technical writing? That's what we will be discussing, and how it is differentiating, how it is differs from other writing. What are the process to make an writing, technical writing, how to frame the sentences for it. So those things we will be discussing in this session. That's what the overall view of this session. So we start our webinar now. So in this webinar, what you will learn as a first thing will be the technical writing. As I said earlier, technical writing types, what are all the types is available. So that we will discuss. And what is the characteristics of the technical writing. And you should know your reader, who is going to use your paper. So you need to understand them, you need to understand their pulses. So that's what we will discuss here in the know your reader section. And know your purpose, why you are writing this paper. That is your main question, right? So how you will formulate the purpose, how you are going to write your paper, what is the purpose, main purpose of that, you should know about it. And then know your material. So you define your purpose, and with the purpose how you are going to achieve the solution for it, like what kind of materials you need it, that we are going to discuss it. And understand your editing, like when you are editing your paper, when you are drafting it, what is the process you should follow, and how you need to understand it, that we will be discussing. And then your structure of the paper, already I discussed the detailed section in our previous webinar. uh, so here I just give some keynote or key informations about the structure of the paper. And the last but not least is a proofreading part. That's all. These are the things which we will be discussing here. What is technical writing? See, everybody will be can write. Then what is the difference between the normal writing and right other writings and the technical writings? So the technical writing is nothing but you are going to write some technological thing in you will be communicating those complex informations and in a easy and understand way. That is the main purpose of the technical writing. So technical writing, normally what people think this technological or technical part will be a very complex one, and it is very difficult for the other for peoples to understand it. So when you are communicating with them, it should be in a easy manner and it should be in a understand way. Then only the people who read your paper can get informations, because you are communicating only through your writing, not any other mode. So the reader's mind should be with you when you are communicating with them. So you should structure in your paper in a proper organized way. Then only the reader will not miss out the flow and he can go along with you. Like a story, how we narrate a story, the same way you should narrate your paper also in a structured manner, and be clear with your thinking. That is a main important part. I mean, when you are thinking is not at all clear, you cannot given a clear idea to others. When you yourself have some confusions, you cannot explain those things to other persons when you are not seeing them in person, because all the things goes in a paper. So people, I mean the without a visual communicating with them, you are communicating with the words. So when you have a clear thinking, when you have a clear thought in your mind, then those things can be put it into words, and those words can easily understand by the reader. And what are the types is available in the technical writing? We have classified the technical writing in a three parts. That is traditional technical writing, and end user documentation, and marketing communication. I give some quick notes about all these things. Thing is, what is traditional technical writing? Traditional technical writing is nothing but your academic writing papers. I mean to say your assignments, your thesis, your research papers, all the things which comes under the technical writing part, traditional technical writing part, and end user documentation. The technical writing is not only for the academic year, but it's also for the other persons who are in the industries. Those, I mean, the people who are using your product, who are using your product, they should familiarize your product, or they should understand your product, and they start using your product means you should have some manuals for them, or some instructions to the users, some software manuals, whatever it is, or hardware, whatever it is. Those kind of end user documentations, the person who is in the at the end user side. So for them, when you are writing a paper, then that is called the end user documentation. Even that is also comes under the technical part writing. And other thing is a marketing communication. Marketing communication is a new thing. I mean, it talks about more of marketing related, more of advertisements. Even that also, there should have some catchy words. There is some process available for writing those things. But for us, when we are not going to discuss about end user documentation or the marketing communications. We are just going to talk about the traditional technical writing. What is the technical? What is it? I mean, what does it mean? That we will see here now. And what are all the characteristics available in the technical writing? Normally, as a researcher, what do you think is, whatever ideas or whatever researches you are doing, you will be sharing with those things with with your co-workers or your researchers, or the people who are the people who lives around the world. They also will be sharing your knowledge. So the technical writing should be clear enough to depict those informations. That is the main purpose of the technical writing. The technical writing should represent the information in a clear manner, and by using those informations, the reader can improve their knowledge. That is what your main purpose of, the main purpose of the technical writing. There should be another specific way to represent those information. It should be an intelligent way. intelligent way of focus. You will be you make a reader to focus your point and focus your writings, so that whatever you wanted to say, whatever your argument is representing, that will be accepted by the your reader with your uh, evidences. That's what we are saying. The author, I mean the reader, accepts your argument until unless you are not, when you are providing the evidences, and that evidences should be strong evidences, then the user, I mean the reader, accepts your argument. So it, there should be a way to represent all the things. And your research report or your research paper should show your ability. So when you don't have a strong knowledge, or you don't have any information to put it in the research paper, then definitely the nobody will refer your paper. So you should have your ability through experiences, or through by experiences by reading a lot of articles. Now, who will be writing the technical, to whom you will be writing the technical article. Technical article is actually meant for the specific audience. Definitely you are not going to write a paper for somebody else who are not understanding your research, so, or who are not searching your research. So it is a, you will be having a specific audiences, and it should be clear and readable. I'm keep on insisting the word clear, please understand, because the clear and readability is a main key point in the technical writing. When it is not clear, definitely the people, the reader will not look into a paper. And mostly, and another point is, it should be in a well organized way. What is well organized? You cannot juggle around the topics. You cannot confuse the reader by giving some points from one place to another. So if they actually get bored of it, or they miss out the points what you want to convey to them. So the point should be in a well organized manner, easy to understand, and clear enough to understand by the reader, because you will be communicating your ideas, experiments. In the research paper, you are not going to write any story or something. Only thing is, you will be focusing on your ideas and how your problem statements and how you are producing the solutions for it. That is a main part of it. And also you will be doing the experiments for it. Communication is done through the ideas and experiments. And one more thing is, your ideas are the experiment. I mean, the experiments should be reproducible. In the materials and methods and materials sections, whatever experimental, whatever materials you have used, you should give it in a clear way, so that the who is a, the other researcher can do your, or retest or repeat your experiment for his understanding or for his research. So your information should clearly represent your experiments details. And most important thing is, be honest. That's what, whatever you are getting, you just put it in the paper, whether it is a negative or a positive, both we can write it, because the publications process not only looking for the negative result, positive results, they are also looking for the negative results. So whatever results you are getting, you put it those things, and in a publication manner you convert it and publish it. So be honest when you are doing it. Required skills for the technical writing. What kind of skills you need it? It is nothing but the writing skill, obviously. Now, writing skill is the must, right? So writing skill is the one. And the second thing is technical skills. Technical skills, what I'm speaking is subject matter, your product or your services. So when you are saying, when you are doing your research, you should be a master in that. So, are trying to be a master, or you are even you are very new to the research, you try to get the informations from other your researchers or the subject matter experts and all. So only thing is you should have some technical knowledge out of it, either your subject, I mean your technical part, and also the product and services. Some products, if you are using for analysis or something, when you are getting services from other persons, you all those things should be summarized in as a technical skills. Tool skills, it's a very much I mean this is very important thing is tool skill. Everybody knows that we will be using Microsoft Office tools. Apart from the Office tools, we have some other tools also called PageMaker, Marker, Adobe FrameMaker, RoboHelp. These are the tools available in the online. You can get it out, and some I mean mostly these are the paid one. You can try with your budget or something. These tools are very good, so you can try it out in your paper. And one more thing is questioning and listening. uh, I need to mention one more skill also, like it's a reading. So questioning, obviously when before writing or before selecting a research or research question, you should ask so many questions, like whether my research is appropriate. I mean, some sample questions I can say, whether my research is finding filling out the gaps which was done in the previous study, and whether really helpful to somebody. Like so many questions you can formulate it. With those things, we can come to a point of a problem statement. This is each and every stage you should question. Then only you can formulate a good research paper. And the other part is a listening part. Listening is like when you have a doubt or when you are wanted to more informations about one subject, you should have to discuss with your subject matter experts or peers, or even some conference videos or uh, con I mean YouTube videos or whatever it is. Like you try to get the knowledge through the listening. And one more thing is reading. Yes, reading is also important for the writing. I didn't mention it here, but reading is a main part for writing. That too, you should read it as a critical reader. So all questioning, listening, reading, these should be the main skill needed for the technical writing. And also the design skills. So design skills actually for when you wanted to give some informations instead of words. When you are giving in a pictorial representations, it is very easy to understand for the people who are reading it out. So try to build up your design skills also. Usability and testing skills, it is as a reader, when you are writing your paper, think of a reader. The reader has to repeat your test in case if he needs some other information. So you are, so yourself be a tester and yourself be a usability tester. Try to do it an experiment and then you put those experiments in a bath. So now I just run through all the points of required skills: writing skills, technical skills, tools, and the questioning and listening and reading skills, design skills, usability and testing skills. These skills actually a technical reader, I mean technical writer should have it before writing your paper. before writing, or when you are start your writing process, even then also you can use it. So what could be your technical documentation? A good technical documentation, how it should be. It should contain 4 C's with you. That is a main formula for here. 4 C's. 4C, what I am talking about is correct, complete, clear, and consistent. With you is actually usability. So when you have your documentation, with all these informations, definitely your article will looks good, able to reads good, and it can easy to pass through the publication process. So remember to use 4 C's. Should have a correct information, have a complete information, clear and consistent. When you have when you collected your evidences, you should have a correct evidences, and whatever informations you are providing in a paragraph, that should be a complete one. It should be given a clear, consistent one. Then your reader can completely with you till end of the paper, and he will be satisfied, and he can use your paper in his further references. So remember 4 C's with you. Okay, I formulated everything. Is that enough, do you think? No. Still some more informations, some more points need to be added in your technical writing. That is design, experiments, experiences, and knowledge. These comes only when you are started writing multiple articles. I mean, when you have any experiences, definitely this you can formulate in your paper very quickly. Design is nothing but your structure. It is when you are framing your design. I mean the paper. Go with the proper structure and the experiences. You can share in some places. You can share your experiences also, and whatever knowledge you have, you will be sharing those knowledge with the other persons. So knowledge. So all the things can make the technical documentation in a good and better way to frame. Apart from this, we have 6 main characteristics for a technical writing. Show your goal or idea. Why you are writing your paper? Because you have some idea and you wanted to show those ideas to somebody else. I mean the person who wanted to recognize you. So you are going to showcasing your ideas, or you wanted to solve some problems, some environmental issues, or whatever it is. So those your main purpose. So you wanted to show your goal or idea. That is a main part of your technical writing. And once idea is framed, now let's look for the particular reader, because all the your ideas will be having a specific persons to read it out, because all the papers will not read by all people. So when you have it address in a particular reader, definitely you have your own group of people to read it out, specific people. So your ideas or goal should address it to a particular people, a particular readers, and through that a reader can able to understand the problem, and can able to go with the paper and can identify the resolution of it. So that is the next step. Another one, it can be produced collaboratively. We will discuss about the collaborative writing in the next coming slides also. So when you wanted to have an good good amount of informations to represent, then you can to increase your productivity, then you can go with the collaborative mode of writing. Obviously it should increase the readability. Your paper should be readable. Always try to look for a solution to increase the readability. And in the final, the paper should consist of words and images, because one image can represent clearly what you wanted to say in a words. So tables, images, or charts, whatever imaginary way you wanted to put your writings clearly, then you can make it out. So remember that when you're following the 6 steps of technical writing, it is very easy to formulate it. First thing is showcasing your ideas. Second thing is finding your audience. Third thing is make a resolution, solutions to your problems so that the reader can identify it. Fourth one is work collaboratively. And then fifth one will be the readability, increase the readability. And fifth one is consisting of words and images. See, when I say all these things, do you think all are linear one? Definitely no. This is not a linear one. You can uh, you can follow the steps wherever you want. The words or images can be put it in your material sections, research sections, or whatever it is. Here I'm not talking about any sections at all. So this is the main 6 characteristics which you can follow in your technical writing. And now we are moving to know your audiences. Who is your audience? To whom you are going to write? That is the main question. It's because without the audiences, you cannot proceed. A good research writer, a research paper means what? When it is published in a well-known journal, then it is good article. Definitely no. When it has more audiences, more readers, then it is then we can treat that paper as a good article. So you write your paper, don't target to publish those article in a journal or something. You remember that who is going to get your information. So you wanted to increase, by increasing the audiences, by increasing the readers. That is a main purpose of your writing. Your audience, who can be your audience? Experts from your area or outside your area. Maybe the experts, maybe from your college or university, or from the national level or from the international level. So your audiences can be at any level, and can be in any area. And remember one key thing, when you are writing a paper, remember that it should be read by the research fellows now, and also by the researchers from 10 years from now. Future of 10 years. So suppose when you are writing a research paper today, it is getting published today, means you should your paper should live at least for 10 years from now. Till 2030, the researchers should refer your paper. So remember that. So write a paper in such a way, in such topics, to live the research article in 10 years from now. And also with the professor and graduates. Remember, and your paper can be used by the professors and the graduates. Also, also take a note that your audiences, it's not only from the academic or the research field, can be from the industry persons. Because if your research articles, if your research can fit into a industry level, even the industry persons can refer your paper and do your experiments in a smaller level. When it gives a good amount of results, then they can implement in their industry. So your paper should concentrate on your audience. The audience can be in any level, any area, any place. When you are writing it out, always the audience or the reader will not read all the things. They read only the title or abstract or the introductions. So when they read these three sections, they will come to a conclusion that, okay, this paper is dealing with this topic and this is the conclusions they are giving, and these are the methods they have used. They just skim through the topics and subtopics, it's just fine, they close it off. So if they wanted to go in deep your paper and they wanted to use your paper in the writing, remember your abstract and title should be clear enough to tell that your paper is going to discuss these points. So the audience will look into it and then get the information at a first look, and then they get interested. If they get interested, then they will go further. If not, they'll throw it out. So remember to write your abstract in a clear and concise manner. Because when you are writing this way, when it has a self-contained one, definitely it can attract more audiences to your paper. Understand your audiences. Who will be your reader? Okay. Who will be your reader? Okay. I said like all industry person, academician, professors, experts, research fellows, so and so on. But what is their background? In which field they are coming from? So they should your papers should satisfy all those things. You need to consider their education, responsibilities, English language skills, attitude towards your writing. Sorry, education. Education, because when you are writing a paper, definitely our fifth grade or sixth grade people, students are not going to read your paper. Paper will be read by some experts or the industrial persons, or somebody they are in very good in their subject matters. So their education is matters. So when you are writing your paper, remember it that your reader comes from which education part, and their responsibility. What could be their responsibilities? And English language skills, because English is a universal research language. It's used by native and non-native speakers. So they can feel a bit difficulties when they are understanding very complex statements or using that. So you try to use very easy going vocabularies. Also the strong one. It doesn't mean that you need to be loose in your, or you need to use weak verbs or something. You can use the strong verbs for the English language. an attitude towards writing. Every time you are when you are writing it out, your the attitude towards your writing should maintain what it should be in a pleasing one, not arrogant words you should not use. You to understand your audience, you ask one question yourself, that why and how your user will be use this document, why he need it, and in what way he will be using your document. That we need to find it out. What my user will use my document? Definitely the user will be use your document either for referring some experiments what you have done, maybe some referring some results which you have given in the conclusion. So in you remember that by reading this paper what benefit that the audience will get, in such a way that you have to formulate your readings, writings. Now you got your audience. Then with the audience what you are going to do, that is the main thing here. Your research paper should have a purpose statement, why you are writing in a paper, the paper what information that paper will contain. That is the main thing, that is the main part of your paper. When the purpose is clearly defined, and in and the abstract section when you have given the brief your experiments and other things, then the reader can continue your paper. First will be your problem statement. Why you are doing this research. You need to define one problem statement. And from the problem statement, you have to come to a purpose statement. So the purpose statement will give an introduction part of your paper. This purpose actually, it should be a specific one. It should give an objective or goal that can provide the solution for your problem statement. So when you do your research, definitely you would have framed some problem statements. So from the problem statement, you try to go within a purpose statement. The purpose statement, you come to an introduction part. Always you use a verbs to connect the logic part of the paragraphs. So logical part of connection is important when you are writing your purpose statement. They should actually focus on one idea to understand. You should use the words which reflects the inquiry of the data collection, analysis, and the process of research. Use neutral words and phrases. For example, experiences of individual rather than the success or positive experience of the individual. Here they have used experiences of individual. Now I show you what is an incorrect purpose statement. See, somebody had written the statement like, this article will cover different ways a company can become organized. So from this purpose statement, what do you got? Nothing. We didn't get any information out of this statement. Why? It's not very clearly mentioned. They just told about different ways become organized, but they didn't talk about how, what are all the ways is available, how many ways are available, what company, any specific company, what kind of work that company is doing, we don't know. How many ways is available, we don't know. We don't know answer for that. How to become organized, we don't know answer for it. So when this statement is written, we will not get anything actually. I mean, when the reader reads out, he may ask these many questions like, the author says different ways, but I don't know what is the ways available. He says a company. What is a company? I don't know. Whether it's a private or public, or they are the hardware company or software company. Don't know. We don't know answer for that. And they said it's a become organized. In which way it is organized? What it is organized? They're talking about the organization structure. You don't know. So this statement gives so many cautions and confusions to us. So that is the reason we are saying that it is an incorrect purpose statement. How the purpose statement should be? It should focus on one idea to be understood. So from this question, from this statement, we are not at all understanding anything. Now we move on further. Another example which talks about the correct purpose statement. Here, if you see, this report will explain how the supervisor can use 4 planning strategies to improve employee productivity in the workplace. Okay, it's very clear and specific. What they are talking about? They are talking about the planning strategies. How many planning strategies is available? There are 4 planning strategies. Through which what they are getting it out? They are getting productivity. Whose productivity? It's their employees' productivity. Where? It is in the workplace. Fine. This is a good purpose statement. So from one statement, we got to know all these informations. So when you are writing a purpose statement, be clear. Be clear what you are writing. Now we saw about purpose statement. So first thing we saw, what are the characteristics available for the technical writing. Second, we saw about audiences. And third is the purpose statement, how we need to write the purpose statement. And now we will be going for the materials and method sections. So material and method sections. Generally, it is very easy to write materials and method sections because you like in this session you just talk about materials you used and what are all the methods you have used for the research. When compared to other sections, this is very easy, but still most of the 30% of the papers are getting rejected because of this section alone. Even though it is very easy, people are not narrating it very correctly, very clearly. That's the reason we are getting 30% of rejection for papers. Why we have to use materials and method section in an article? The main purpose of materials and method section is just to facilitate a reproducibility, not more than that. Because your experimental design or enough experimental design and details should help other persons to repeat it. This way of writing is started from 17th century. The scientists or the researchers started to write the steps or the materials they have used in the paper. So since then we started following this structure of writing materials and methods. Normally, as a critical reader or the article reader, you will not go through this section. Absolutely not. First, you go through the introduction and the discussion part. You just first go through the introduction and discussion section, and then if you think that it's really fits your research, then you move on for the other section for further readings. Even though the concentration for this section is less, but it is a crucial part of writing. This section is a crucial part for the writing it. That's what I said. In the academic writing, introduction and discussions is more important sections. When the weightage is given for the whole paper, the weightage goes more for the introduction and the discussion section. The materials and method sections gets a lower mark on that. Always use the reader when he reads out the paper, he gets the he can judge the experimental methods and he allows the assessment of the results. In your research sections, in the material and method sections, always try to use past tense, past simple sentences like investigated, performed, evaluated, like that. For example, I am showing some article part. In the materials and method sections, see if you hear, they talked about was extracted from the shuttle. Like was extracted, they are using a past sentence, simple past sentence. Like throughout the sections, they will be using simple past sentence. And always have headings and subheadings in your materials and method sections. If you see here, even though it is a materials and method sections, they have some 7 subheadings like study area, acquisition and different derivation of experiment, field sampling, equal area, spatial model, statistical analysis, computing. So if you see here, they have multiple subsections in the materials and method sections. So when you are writing it out, remember to use the past tenses and headings and subheadings on the sections. Okay, what is the process of writing? As a good writer, what are the process I should follow? That we will discuss now. And what is the learning and improvements needed when we were doing a good writer? Definitely these learning and the improvements, we need it as a good writer. We need to do a self-review, peer review, and also do an SME feedbacks. No, this gives an learn improvement sections. This give an improvements in our writings. A good writing is not a, it is a continuous process. So it's a never-ending process. You write it out, you get a feedback, you try to apply all those feedbacks in your paper or in your paper and get experience out of it. Through that experience, write in another article. Fine, get a feedbacks. So whenever you are writing it out, or when you are writing, all the experiences should be in a continuous manner. We have some 5 process for good writer. So we discuss about each and everything now. First session will be the planning, drafting, revising, editing, proofreading and publishing. So I just separated editing and proofreading part in a separate process. In a publishing only I have put proofreading. So you will see. What is a planning? You wanted to do you wanted to write in a paper. So before writing it on paper, you got some idea. To give strengthens to that idea, what you will do? You read a lot of articles for that particular topic, and you start brainstorm it with the peers. You just look into the encyclopedias or to get some more informations. And also you will be participate in the conferences, seminars, and you will determine that for whom you are writing it out, when this should go to a reader, what information it should contain, where, why and how. These questions, when you get the answers for all these questions, then it is very easy to plan your structure. And you determine to increase your knowledge. All these things, all participation in the conferences, the reading articles, encyclopedia, brainstorming sessions, in turn what it produces is it gives more and more knowledge. So with that knowledge, you will be start writing your paper. So when you have these informations, what you will do? You create it as a diagram, and you create it as a mind maps. You formulate it as a concept maps, whatever maps or whatever charts. You just jot down all the things like your knowledge, for your ideas, and then you start identifying the pros and cons of. Suppose you got some idea like when you are brainstorming the session, you get some other pros and cons for it. You write it down. So when you are writing more and more informations, when you are noting down all the informations, it definitely gives a clear way to you how to formulate your writing. And drafting. What is drafting? Now you got your ideas. Ideas are very initial level ideas. You got it. After getting it out, you got the answers for whom you wanted to write, what, when, all the questions you got answers. So now with these answers, you start drafting it out. Drafting is nothing but our initial composition. It is not the final one. You jot down your all arguments, ideas, but remember they should follow an organized way. Because when you are missing out the organization, the the reader will not get your ideas. So always when you are writing and drafting itself, you try to make in an organized way. And finalize your audience and purpose. That is very important. To whom you are going to submit your paper. who is your audience, and what is the purpose, why you are submitting the paper, what is the purpose you have it. So in the drafting you have to finalize your audiences and purpose. Yeah, I said earlier, draft is not a perfect one. In the word it says is a draft, then it is not a final one. So it does keep on changing. All the researchers, what they do is they write the introduction part in the last, because after formulating all the sections, now you got to know about your paper, your way, your results, and your conclusions, everything you got it now. Then it is very easy to write an introduction part, because it's like it is a climax. I mean to say, like when reading it out, when reading that first paragraph in the introduction, the user should the reader get to know the details of the article. So he should have some interest. So generally, all the writer, they all the researchers, they write their introduction part in the last. And revising. What is revising? You noted all things, organized way. You drafted your article. Now you just review it. Do a self review. Read it out. Read aloud actually. When you are reading loudly, then you can identify the errors very easily. So read your paper loudly, review it, and after reviewing, definitely you will be having some corrections, or some more points you wanted to add, or some experiments you wanted to put to in order to match your content correctly. And again, reorganize it. Maybe some informations you wanted to emphasize in something, so that part comes first. You can add or delete some points. So revising your draft. It is actually a before submission, you are doing a final rehearsal for it. The main goal is to improve your draft. The editing. In general, editing, what you will do is you check for the grammar, you check for the spellings, sentence structure, citations, and references will be done in the editing. So editing is almost like a proofreading, but it is done by yourself. A process of writing. A process of writing art. It is an art. It is a storytelling art, I can say. In a story, you want to formulate you want to have some characters, and with the characters, what is the situation, what is the relations, and how the story goes along with the character. So all these things are important. So art of the storytelling is an art. Similar way, the writing is an art. You should start your story by defining your problem. First, you define your problem, ask questions, and find out a solution, and define the solution, and take care of the problems arises again, and address them, and finally, your outcome is ready. Finally, your research paper or the story is ready to give it to a reader. So, the first introduction section of your paper is a problem definition. So problem definition will lead to a purpose, and you will be formulating a research question, your argument. and then the argument to it goes to the evidence. When how you were, I mean the claim, how the claim should be supported through the evidences, and how the evidences should be, it should be a strong evidences. So you got your results, and how can you map it with the results? You will have some discussion sections. From the discussion sections, what you are arriving, you are getting a conclusion. So your story should be narrated in such a way that it should have some process, and the process is followed, then it is very easy for you to write it. Don't think it's a process is a separate one. Process should be inherited by ourselves. So what? So as a researcher, I should have a problem. I always think about the problem, and then what is the solution I should give? I need to think about it. So this is a process is following. So you have yourself follow the process. And as I said, 90% of the writing is an editing. From the draft version, you would have used so many unnecessary words, statements, duplicated informations, everything. So the remaining part of writing is editing. So in the editing part only, you will be doing all your works. Like you will be cutting out the words, you will be cutting the shreds of the tree. Unnecessary words, you will be cutting it out. And remember, you have to use active voice everywhere. And you have to break down the complex sentences. Remember to maintain the clarity and the flow. If you are missing out the flow, definitely the reader will miss out the flow. And he will not come to a point that what you are giving. So what a good writer should have, he should have the planning. Okay, we discussed that planning part. Other part is clarity, brevity, simplicity, word choice, and voices. We discuss each and everything now. Clarity. Suppose you started using some jargon, which the jargon is understood by the particular group of people. Then your paper is not valid one. Because when the audience gets a familiarity, then you use a jargon. I given as an example. See, in this example, you just read it out. For the first year, the links with SDPC and hack were not connected, and all required OCS input data were artificially loaded. Thus, Catch 22 and Mervin were not available. So, when you are reading this information, what information you got? It definitely I didn't get anything. I was confused. What is ASDPC, hack, and so this statement is written for the particular group. But as a reader, when I'm trying to understand it, I'm not understanding what this line means. So when you are using such type of abbreviations, you please remember your audiences are come from a different domains, or I mean to say different places, or a different characteristics through geological or other lingual. So when you use your jargons, please clarify it properly. See, now how this can be modified is, Because some of the link in the computer system were not connected the first year, we are not run the software code. That's fine. It's a normal in English. It is written that okay, I understood that there is some links are not provided for the computer systems. That is the reason some software codes are executed. That's fine. That is understandable. So when you are writing your paper, when you are writing your statements, remember to avoid jargon. Define the unfamiliar part. Define the term in the first occurrences and put abbreviation in parentheses. Okay. Unfamiliar words should be in a italicized and define them. Suppose I have these two examples. Random access memory, RAM, RAM, RAM. I put it in the parenthesis and I explaining the RAM in the later sections. So as a person who doesn't know about a RAM, what he does is he just read the abbreviations. I mean the informations like random access memory. So since once it is defined, in later on he wherever he says RAM, he thinks about random access memory. I know this is a very simple one, everybody knows, but as a process of writing it out, I'm mentioning this one. And also the retina, it is in the unfamiliar word because I don't know about the retina. So what is retina? It is in the italics word. So the person who is reading for the first time, the retina will be italicized. So I can understand, okay, this word is very new to me, and what it is, what retina is, that the definition is also they have given. See, it is a thin layer of the issue which represent in the back of our eyes. So when you are writing your paper, when you are start using the unfamiliarized words, when you think that we are using unfamiliarized words, you define it for the first time with the italic note. Brevity. Brevity is nothing but use of words effectively. Don't use two words when one word is sufficient. Yes. Our main, because we are not a native language users, we definitely use two words or three words to represent one idea. Even though one word is there, we will be using two words instead of that. So that need to be corrected. That should be eliminated. See this example. Why we are saying is that when you are using a very lengthy words or when you are giving information in a very lengthy words, it is difficult to a reader to come along with you. When you have a short words, they can short sentences, they can understand very quickly. You just see this statement talks about this salinity of the fresh water in EGP. But for that, they have written two lines. But this can be formulated in a single line like below. The relation between the nature of the salt, fresh water in, and so and so, it goes important for the scientist, residents, and this. But if you see here in this example, the next line, it is very short, and your word's length is also becoming short. That's the reason you can convey your information by reducing the length of the paper. The fluctuation sanity of the EGP concerns many environmentalists, scientists, and residents. That's what they wanted to see. They are saying the nature of the salt water in the fresh water. I mean, these are the duplicate informations. So this is actually eliminated, and that they have just used salinity. This actually comes with the practice only. So when you are reading it out, try to minimize the words. And most important should come first. For example, in this statement, the main key information should be placed in the main class. Despite winning the game, the Patriots made several errors in the first half. Even though they won the game, the Patriots made the several errors in the first half. See, what they wanted to say is, they wanted to say the Patriots won the game. That is the main intention, no? So the main intention, the key information, comes in the first part of your class. It's the main class. The Patriots won the game despite making several errors in the first half. So both are representing the same meaning, but the ideas are your importance. What is importance here is they won the game. That is the important, no? So when you wanted to give an importance to a game, you will specify you can specify it in your main class. The Patriots won the game despite making several errors in the first half. And remove redundancy. We have used a tendency to use redundant verbs, redundant words, or combine or overlapping. You can combine or overlapping the sentences if possible. See the below statement. It's a quite complex one. Water quantity is declined. Why it is declined is because of the rainfall, the extra water overloaded, country water treatment. So 3 information they have provided. Those informations can be combined into a single statement as below. Like water quality is declined because of the heavy rainfall which overloaded the Tomlin County water treatment plant. So you can combine the overlapping sentences if possible. Avoid using complexity. See, in this section, your reader, you always think about the reader. The reader don't want to continue the complex writing part. So when you are using or now, for example, utilization can be substituted with use. It's a simple one. Functionality, you can use it as feature. So these part comes as a part of noun. Verbs also is the same way. Facilitate, cause, finalize, it's an end. Adjectives, aforementioned, mention. Individualized, individual. Same way, adverbs, firstly, secondly, first, second, previous. So in your statements, when you are reading a statement, when you have this type of examples, definitely it makes the complexity move. So instead, you try to use a simple one and short one. In a language, you avoid using too many abstract nouns. Like this example, the existing nature of volcanic ash spewage was handled through the applied use of computer modeling capabilities. Here the ash spewage here they have abstract nouns. So to avoid it, how they made the statement is like, with a great computer, we model how much ash spewed from the Mount St. Helens. So don't use abstract nouns. Use short words. For example, we have a tendency to write already existing, never before, at the present time. So what you can do is you can use a short words. Fundamentals, instead of fundamentals you can write basic. At this time, instead of at this time you can use now. Completely eliminate. So like this you can find it in online how for usage of short words in the dictionary or thesaurus. You can find it out the short words. You try to use it, because when once you get familiarized, then you can write it in your paper. Process of writing, we in a language part always use a strong one, because the slow one, I mean the weak one, definitely the publishers will not look for the weak part. See, avoid excess words. They actually slows down the comprehension part. Made arrangements part. It can be replaced by arranged. Made the decision. It is decided. So it comes as a strong one. Working as expected. Works as expected. Always remember, when you want to do an effective communication, do through a active voice, because it gives more strongness in your paper. Like this example, was composed which was pressed against the pyrotonic that was used to confine the charge. See, now they have used it in an active voice, and the statement becomes shorter now. Now we look for the collaborating writing. In a collaborating writing, advantages, if you see, we can write a better document in this. It creates wider knowledge base, wide skill base. It gives a better idea how your audiences will read. Creates a better communication. Those are the advantages when you do it as a collaborative writing. Same way, collaborative writing can have disadvantages also. We discuss about that now. It takes more time than individual writing. Right. Disjoint document, because the other person have written some sections or some part. When you are combining it, the disjoint can happen. Unfair workload, definitely it will be there. You feel that you did more part when compared to others. So it creates an unnecessary disputes from the team members or persons, and the person's motivations also reduce. It, definitely, I said like the conflicts between the persons can occur. Though that is other disadvantages of collaborating writing. Okay, now we come across the characteristic of technical writing, types of technical writing, and how to uh, we know about the reader, and we know about the audiences, we know about the purpose, about the materials, and how to write it. We, for we, we discussed about the informations to put it in a paper, like the process of writing. Also we discussed the things should be avoided, like clarity, brevity, and I mean the how we can get all those things in our paper, that we discussed. And now we will be looking for the structure of the research paper. In general, the structure, the most of the papers will follow the particular structure, which is nothing but IMRAD format. We have many format, but this format is widely used. It is introduction, methods, results, and discussion section. So if you think your paper can have the structure like this: your author, title, abstract, and keywords, introduction part, methods, results, discussion, and the references which you have used. So this is the basic skeleton of your paper. And in the title, author, abstract, and keywords, you know what are all the things should go in this. This is the basic informations. So through which the reader can communicate with you. In the introduction part, when you get answer for the question why, then you get the introduction part. What is the context? What is the context for this project? How it can fit into a other topic, other research topics? What is the difference? What is the gap you are filling it out through that research? And what is your research question? So all these things will come into a research introduction part. And the method sections will discuss about how the research question got the answer. For particular research question, how you get the answer, in what way you get it, what methods you have used. So this section will have the answer for those things. And the result section, result is what was the answer. So through the methods, you got some results. So whether that answer is your evidence, whether that answer, through that answer can you claim your argument, that we have to say it in the result section. In general, that can be represented using the tables or charts or images. I mean to say in a pictorial format, so that the user can get easily understand your part. And the discussion or the conclusion part. What is the significance of the project? How it can fit? What else know about the topic? Any future information? What is the place for the future study. So you will be discuss all those things in the discussion and conclusion section. References. In the references section, you will be listing out all the authors' references. You have used for your paper. All the cited informations you have to put it. So this is the format of the research paper. So you follow your paper in this way, but do remember you have to write your introduction and abstract part in the last. Because when you formulate your methods, results and discussions, then it is very easy to formulate your introduction part and abstract part. And even title also. Because it is like, it is your whole whole research paper you are putting it down, you are showing to a other future, going to show your reader. So as a reader, I will be reading your title and introduction. So this should convince your reader to dig into a paper. So you have to put much concentration when you are writing an introduction part. Introduction, abstract and title. So now we had come to a conclusion part, which is nothing but a proofreading and publishing. Why I put in the last is because all the till now what we have discussed is writing style and your sentence framing and the structure of your paper. In the proofreading section, because after the proofreading, it should go for the publications. Publications is nothing but you are allowing your audience to read. The audience should not get any any wrong idea about you. So to avoid that, the proofreading will help. It is the last step of the writing, but still it is a crucial part of your writing. You should use your words more powerful, because powerful is like strong verbs. When you use strong verbs, it can be understood by the reader very quickly. Simple typo and grammar error can be a high cost. You can think that it's just a typo error or grammatical error, but you think that when this paper goes to the printing and everybody gets it out, that the correction of that makes a huge cost. So you have to avoid grammatical and typo errors before publishing. They have to, in the proofreading, correct the numbering format, capitalization, spelling, and inconsistency of the document, misplaced sentences, misplaced words, punctuation mistakes. So when you correct all those things, it will be very good article which is ready for the publications. So when you do it, you are actually increasing the chances of the publications. The publishers will say okay on the initial steps. They say okay, and then it goes to the reader and so on for scrutinizing. That is the different part, but it gives a good impression to the publishers. One more thing, the proofreading should be done by the third person, not by you. I mean to say, you can also do it before submitting to a third person, because when the third person seeing it out with the third eye, if they see it, they can easily catch the errors. So give more importance for the proofreading before publishing. So for this sessions, I was referring MIT Writing Center's journals, and also National Institute of Health US parts also I was using as a references. Okay, thank you. Have any questions?
Hello,
Yeah.
ma'am. In Elsevier, Springer, Taylor Francis, which have high impact factor, what is the chance of why the manuscript get rejected? About 95% manuscript get rejected, and only 5 to 1% get accepted. And why? What are the factors?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Sir, madam, why
Sir,
the
can you write it in the chat box, because your voice is not very clearly telling that.
We have first channel to get access to me and Supreme Court orders. But let's go from my colleague Nalini now running us live. So Nalini, please share the most important points in this particular order by the Supreme Court today. And the biggest takeaway being that Supreme Court has in a way been refused by the Supreme Court.
Sir, please, when you are not asking questions, please put your mute.
The Supreme Court has passed a drastic hearing that happened today, and the biggest takeaway from the order is the first fact that serious time has been given to the Mumbai police to get all the details of the investigation so far, and for not
Hello.
the details of the investigation is at right now. At the same time, they also said that in these 3 days, all of the other parties that are involved can also file their submissions before the Supreme Court. As we know that
Hello, sir. Please put your microphone in mute.
Hello, madam.
Yeah, ma'am. Hello.
Madam, you said that the paper must exist for 10 years.
Yeah, ma'am.
But when you are publishing in one Scopus paper, in next year or after 2 years, they are saying that this particular international journal is not available under Scopus list.
Ma'am,
So
for
in
that,
such a case, we are losing our
Yeah, I got your point, ma'am. Actually, you are saying that it is not possible. The the article will not be live for 10 years. That's what you are asking, right?
Ah, no, madam. Actually, the problem, the paper, the article is an high-end technical paper. But because it was deleted from the Scoopers list, nobody will refer now.
Yeah, ma'am. That
The
is
journal is deleted from the Scoopers list. That is a big problem for us, no, madam.
yeah, ma'am. It
All
is
our efforts will
actually
go off now.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, what you are saying is correct. But when you
Ah,
are one second, ma'am. Yeah, is it clear now?
it's clear for me, madam.
Yeah. See, when you are saying that your paper is not available for next 10 years or something, uh, I mean,
Mm.
are you publishing your paper in well-known international journals or something, ma'am?
Yes,
If
yes.
like Springer or
No, not Springer. Springer, what happens, madam? Because it takes time as well as the registration fee is very high.
okay, but the thing is, when
And
you
on the Scoopers, when we are going, recently I felt very bad because IJSRT they deleted from the Scoopers list
okay,
recently. So that is what once they approved a journal under Scoopers list, they should follow some rules and
Chilapa,
regulations based on that. If they approve the journal under
okay,
Scoopers list, madam, it can be survived for 10 years minimum. Today, 2 3 years back, they're including and they're deleting.
ma'am. For those things, I
UGC care
can
list totally they deleted.
ma'am, those things I cannot discuss in this session.
No, no, I'm just telling, madam.
Yeah,
Because you said only
yeah,
just the way
but normally it
we can
goes like
see.
that because even if you the recent
So that's what
studies,
the problem we are facing being researchers.
okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, madam.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you, participants. Thank you. We will meet on the
you.
next
Okay.
session tomorrow. Thank you.